So I know everyone has a bit of low energy. In Venezuela, we say la hora del burro, which means the donkey hour. And it's basically when after eating, you just have a drop of energy, and then all you want is just to take a nap. But we'll make sure to keep you awake, especially because we're about to start a little journey from the waters, from the waters all the way up to the sky, and explore how we can keep moving around our planet without harming it so much. It's day 2 of the conference, well, actually the last day of the conference and also the last breaking session. So I know that all of you have plenty of ideas, plenty of knowledge in your head. So let's end with something that affects us all, which is mobility. How we get to point A to point B sustainably. So welcome, everyone, to today's afternoon session, From Harbour to Sky, Shaping the Future of Sustainability Mobility. My name is Adriana Pizzi, Membership Manager at GSTC, and I will be guiding you through this engaging discussion this afternoon. So first, let's go a little back into history. Transportation has always been part of human progress. At first, we carried goods ourselves or used animals, slow but cleaner. Then came the steam engine. Ships and trains connected places we never dreamed of. But we started burning coal, and the air began to change. The 20th century brought cars and planes. The world shrank even more. A trip that once took days could now be done in hours. But emissions went through the roof. Now, in the 21st century, we can go almost anywhere. But transport is responsible for about 15% of all the CO emissions, and aviation alone, it pumps out nearly 1 billion tons every year. That's like putting the entire country of Germany annual emissions into the sky, and we add even a little bit more. So just a quick check, hands up if you took more than one flight in the last year. Okay, who took more than 2? More than 3? More than 5. Okay, I see. So that's our reality. We love to travel. We also need to move. But here's a big question for today. How do we keep the benefits and essential connections that mobility brings without carrying the same environmental and social cost into the future? So for that, we've got here 3 amazing speakers who's tackling this from very different angles. On the water, reimagining city transport with zero emissions. In the skies, bringing electric flight to regional aviation. And across the globe, cleaning up air travel with new fuels and smarter operations. So I'll be introducing now our 3 STEAM speakers of today. First, Tjakko, co-founder of the Watertaxi company. They're building hydrogen-powered water taxis, no direct emissions, and a whole new way of thinking about getting around on water. Next, we'll go with Bert van der Stege, CEO of Harbour Air, the world's first fully carbon-neutral airline and the first to fly an all-electric commercial seaplane. The goal, most of the fleet electric by 2026. And finally, we'll continue with Kentaro Dobashi, a special appointive vice president of sales and marketing division at Japan Airlines. They are leading the charge on sustainable aviation fuels, boosting efficiency, and exploring new carbon removal solutions for the industry. 2 quick housekeeping notes before we start and before I forget. So you are aware of Snapsite to capture highlights and transcript. Yeah, so just scan the QR code, and also Slido that I'm sure you already posted many questions to win the contents. So just get into Slido, #GSTC2025. Remember to put this room, which is ORCID, and during the presentation, you can start already typing all your questions. All right. So from harbors to sky, let's see what the future of sustainable mobility looks like. So, Tjakko, please.
Great. Thank you, Adriana, for this introduction of this session. Bula, good afternoon. It's great to be here, and I'm actually quite honored to be here on a global stage because the company that I'm representing, that I co-founded, we just started. So we are recently became a company, started the business, and I'm already on this stage explaining what we are doing and why it is sustainable. So thank you very much. Let me start with a personal story. I'm an urban planner from the Netherlands originally. And now I live in Bangkok, Thailand. And I started my consultancy in sustainable urbanism. I want to make cities and urban areas more livable with all the challenges that we are facing. And I started to grow into sustainability back in 2001. I was in Hawaii and I had the opportunity to snorkel there, to see the beautiful coral reefs. And there were so many colors, it was so beautiful. And the years after that, I started to snorkel everywhere in the world. Curacao, Bali, Europe. And I was actually a little bit disappointed because I saw the bleaching. I saw the coral turning into gray, into white. So I was actually crying underwater. And I was thinking, okay, this is not what it's supposed to be. So maybe I should do something what I can do. Fortunately, a couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to go to Tahiti and I saw these colors again. So it's not too late, right? So let's see how we can do that. The other side is that I am really into cities and city development. And I see also there the challenges, especially when it comes to traffic, mobility, traffic jams. So let's see if we can combine those two. So we started the Watertaxi company. And we is myself and a fellow Dutchman called Erik Roskam-Abbing. He is based in the Netherlands, I'm based in Bangkok, Thailand. And our mission is to deliver clean, efficient and people-centered water mobility, designed to support sustainable development in waterfront destinations worldwide. And I can imagine with that personal story, why are you going into water mobility when you are concerned about coral reefs? I'll get to that. And it's not just about transportation. It's about making the first and last miles of the tourists' journey memorable, smooth and sustainable. Because how people move affects how they experience a place and whether they want to come back to that place. So let's have a look what we are replacing. So land mobility is actually broken in many places. It's slow, it's crowded, it's polluting, and for many guests, it's a poor start of their visit. Now picture arriving by water to your destination. Clean air, hopefully, no traffic, beautiful scenery, and a sense of arrival that feels more like a moment than a transfer. That's what we're aiming at. I'm going to talk about a case study later on in Phuket, in Thailand. And there it started for us, because what we saw is people are arriving on the airport. They're put in vans or limousines to go to their destination somewhere else on the island, and they got stuck in traffic jams for 2-3 hours. That's the start of their holidays. And the airport is on the water side. Their beachfront hotels are on the water side. So why are we using these roads when there's a lot of highway accessible, but it's called water? So what we do is we work together with cities, local authorities, local organizations, hospitality groups to design entire water-based mobility systems. We're doing that by analyzing demand, integrating our services into urban structure, engaging with communities and users, and specify technology and operate the system from A to Z. But we are not planning to operate the systems ourselves. We want to work together with local operators that are already driving boats. How can we make that more sustainable? It is more like water mobility as a service, but also a tool for urban transformation to unlock new destinations. And we approach every location with the belief that water can and should move people in smarter ways. One of these smarter solutions, and now I get back to the coral reefs, is that we are using electric hydrofoiling techniques. We are working closely together with a company called Candela, a Swedish company. They're building electro-hydrofoiling ferries, like you see on this picture. It's a ferry for up to 30 people, and it goes 100 kilometers on one battery because it's so efficient. They lift above the water, which reduces drag, wake, and energy use up to 90%. 90% more efficient. And the fact that they are lifting up the water does mean that there's no disturbance, there's no turbulence underwater. So also for coral reefs, this is a better solution than the conventional boats that we're using. To give you an example of the broader work we are doing, we are at the moment doing a global viability study, assessing where our model can scale, and it's supported by the Dutch maritime sector of network. We have created a joint R&D consortium to develop high-performing, affordable, smaller electric hydrofoiling boats in collaboration with mostly European partners. And our pilot project is Phuket, which I'll talk about in a moment. Finally, we are asked by the Thai Marine Department to look into the possibilities to create a kind of Grab or Uber style peer-to-peer taxi service on the Chao Phraya River in Bangkok. Our Phuket mission, let's dive into that. Every year, over 13 million tourists land at Phuket Airport. Our mission is to move 1 million of those over water by 2030. That's a lot fewer car rides and about 10 megatons of carbon emissions saved. In 2026, we aim to launch a pilot with 5 hotels, hotel destinations, 75,000 passengers, and floating docks powered by solar energy. The idea is simple: turn a stressful ride into a comfortable glide and make it sustainable. So what we offer is a subscription service for hotels. Fixed monthly fee, resorts can offer their guests a private electric shuttle over water, or they can combine it with other hotels to have a bundle and to use one boat for multiple hotels. Our boats handle the mobility, the hotel strengthens its brand and sustainability profile, and the guests get an unforgettable journey. And this is just the beginning. We are looking at the east side of the island of Phuket right now. But the government in Thailand wants us to use the west side as well. A little bit more tricky because of the choppiness of the sea, but we're diving into that as well, to have a subscription model on the east side, to have a more public transportation system on the west side to unlock the beaches by water. It's not happening now, but we want to do that in the future. That is the story of the Watertaxi company. Very much willing to answer your questions in the Q&A. My time is up, it says here, so thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Tjakko, for giving us a glimpse into how water, often overlooked in mobility discussions, can become a clean, community-driven transport solution. Now from the water, now we move to the skies, but not so far up. Our next speaker, Bert van der Stich, CEO of Harbour Air. Please welcome him.
Thank you, Adriana. Thank you for the invite. It's great to see so many interested in this topic, and it's great, really fantastic to actually see some of our travel partners, our business partners here in the room as well. Now, I'm not sure whose idea it was to invite two people with a Dutch accent to speak right after each other. So hang on, bear with me. I can assure you the final speaker here on the panel won't have a Dutch accent. What I would like to talk to, however, is a little bit about Canada and the west coast of Canada in particular, an area around Vancouver, largest city on the west coast that you might be familiar with, and give you a little update on our innovation and sustainability journey at Harbour Air, the largest seaplane airline in the Americas, very well known, a key part of infrastructure in British Columbia, the province on the west coast of Canada, and obviously very well known in the Maldives as well. A little bit about Harbour Air. We operate, currently peak season for us, around 300 flights per day, primarily in and out of Vancouver. We have a fleet of 42 aircraft. Largest aircraft in our fleet is the de Havilland Canadian-built Twin Otter, 19-seater aircraft. We have around 500 employees. We carry around 500,000 passengers a year. We fly to 12 destinations, 11 in British Columbia, and we fly from Vancouver to Seattle in the United States. And what we're most known for is that we became the very first airline in the world to actually fly an electric aircraft. Not because it's available and you can actually buy one. At the time, we had shareholders and the founder of Harbour Air who were very, very keen on proving that this can be done. Innovation has always been at the core of what we do at Harbour Air. And at the time, we thought it can be done, and we're going to make this happen, and we've proven that it can be done. What I will talk a little bit about next is actually the challenge around how to get it certified, how to actually start mass producing electric aircraft, which is a huge, huge undertaking, as well as working with partners. Before we do that, like we do on every flight, I would just like to acknowledge that we do feel responsibility for the beautiful part of the BC coast, the west coast, that we fly over. On every little flight that we do, average flight time is around 35-40 minutes. We make sure that there is a special moment for a land acknowledgement, as we call it. Now, back into what most people here are interested in. We, as said, we're the very first airline in 2019 to essentially take an aircraft, namely the de Havilland Beaver aircraft, the smallest aircraft in our fleet, can seat up to six passengers. And what we did was we took out the engine and replaced it with an engine that is manufactured by a US-based company, Seattle-based company called Magni-X. An engine that was put into the aircraft by our team of engineers. We put in batteries. We're working with a number of battery suppliers. And we started experimenting as a prototype. We have since operated 100 of these test flights. We cannot still, despite all these years, despite all these flights, carry commercially paying passengers. So it is just a prototype for now, which shows, I think, why it is so difficult to get to that next stage, leading the transition to a sustainable and zero-emission regional airline. Now, what we're also very, very famous for is in 2007. 2007, Harbour Air became the first airline to be fully carbon neutral. We did that to third-party carbon offsetting. Back then, almost unheard of. Now, very, very common. In 2024, when agreements were up, when we started talking, my team and I, around what we want to do next, we said, you know what, offsetting is perhaps not appropriate. What we would like to do is move into a model called insetting, where we are investing within our own value chain the typical offsetting fee that passengers pay when they buy a ticket from us. So in our case, we make that mandatory. It's part of the ticket fare. It's around between 2 and 3 Canadian dollars that every customer pays towards direct investment into our own sustainable initiatives. Obviously, you can imagine an electric aircraft, building an electric aircraft is not a cheap exercise. So the majority of that insetting funds are going to our own project towards e-plane development, research and development, also beyond the aircraft we operate, other aircraft, helicopters, etc. We still do a little bit of offsetting. We continue to purchase premium carbon offsets for our corporate footprint. For example, my daily commute, if I elect to take my car instead of a bicycle, or emissions from heating our terminal buildings, our airports, our infrastructure, etc. That is still being done through the traditional carbon offsetting, so that we remain fully carbon neutral. I think this is what Kentaro was referring to earlier. Could somebody move to the next slide, please? I promise there won't be very many left. Oh. That's it. Thanks very much. It's fine, it's fine.
No, it's okay. I think there's another slide before. Can we put it, please, so Bert can finish properly his presentation? There's no rush.
I think it was taken out. Yeah, that's fine. No problem.
But you can continue
Thank you.
talking of something if you...
There's lots of opportunity for questions, and obviously we're here. I'm here for the rest of the afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Bert, and sorry for that little inconvenience. When we first talked, I was really curious about your approach of insetting, so I'm looking forward to discussing that later on. And now let's welcome to Kentaro Dobashi from Japan's Airlines. Please come to the stage, go to the podium.
Thank you, Adriana. And as mentioned already, I'm the only one without the Dutch accent.
Well, no, you also.
Oh, sorry.
We're here together.
Okay. I would like to start from this. My name is Kentaro Dobashi of Japan Airlines. My background is laid down over here. I joined the company back in 1989, April. So it's more than 36 years of service by now. And most of my career was in the sales and marketing division, followed by the International Relations and Alliance Department until I was deployed to Singapore. And the overseas deployment was also Frankfurt, Germany. And I'm pleased to be here in Fiji for my very first time today. So today I would like to briefly walk you through our initiatives. But in summarizing, the new topic that we are doing is what I'm going to focus today. Most of you might have heard about sustainable aviation fuel or carbon emission that airlines are doing, but we are also making another approach to make the destinations and the relationship between the regionals sustainable. The slide over here is a summary. There are various social issues and problems surrounding us, such as climate change, biodiversity loss related to global environment problems. Based on the COVID-19 situation that all of us has suffered, we Japan Airlines reviewed all of the value of the flow of people and logistics. We came to a conclusion that the flow of people and the relationship established between people and the region can also be a solution for the social issues. As an airline, we thought we can contribute in realizing a sustainable future. The value led by the flow is closely linked to, firstly, the global environment, secondly, wellness of regional society, and thirdly, the happiness and the well-being of the people. The relationship and connectivity established through the flow is what we reflected into the so-called JAL future map, which is something very eye-killing. If you have some time to visit our website, all of our staffs brought in and demonstrated what they want to realize in the future. So I won't go into details today, but please take some time to take a look if you are interested. And based on these, this is all of our thoughts are towards the future. And I would also briefly like to go through the initiatives, our approach to sustainability, sustainable challenge, our initiative to sister city relationships, and our initiative to GSTC industry. Last but not least, our initiative to GSTC destination. This slide, maybe some of you have seen it, had a chance to take a look before, but in Japan Airlines group mission, our mission is to realize a society based on safety and comfort. Of course, this is our mutual task as a transportation industry for the Watertaxi and also the seaplanes as well. And to realize a sustainable future. I think this is all common for us. Therefore, we are placing our SDGs strategy as the core of our corporate strategy. As an airline, our urgent issue is an action towards the reduction of carbon emission. Targeting zero carbon emission by 2050, we will upgrade and renew the fleet to fuel-efficient aircrafts, and also reduce CO2 emissions in daily operations, such as reduction on onboarded weight and ascent with early acceleration and continuous descent operations. Also, time to time, engine washing will be also contributing to this. By the way, did you know that 1 kilogram reduction on an aircraft, how much of the fuel could be saved? Does anybody have an idea? Oh, sorry, I didn't calculate the percentage, but it's about this much of a can of beer fuel. 1 kilogram, if you reduce it, this amount, 330 milliliter maybe, of fuel could be saved, for your information. And also this is what we were promoting to our customers as well. And sustainable challenge, this is also one thing that we are doing as an airline, could be something unique. Along with making our own unilateral efforts that I just talked about, we are also focusing on what we can do together with our customers, our guests. In November 2022, the first challenge on the upper left-hand side, we operated our first so-called sustainable challenge charter flight between a domestic flight between Haneda and Okinawa. We also used sustainable aviation fuel on this flight. And following that, the second challenge, bottom left side, September 2023, we operated our sustainable challenge flight on our scheduled. The first one was charter. The second one is scheduled international Haneda, New York, JFK route for a week, which was during the United Nations SDGs Summit. And recently, the third challenge, March 2025, we operated our sustainable challenge flight for 2 weeks. So the duration is getting longer and longer. On our Honolulu service. This was not only a trial taking place on the flight, but also involving activities, as you see over there, and experiencing that that the people can enjoy during their stay in Honolulu. We prepared a lot of programs for beach cleaning or traditional agriculture experience, tree planting of native Hawaiian species, so on and so forth. This is also what we are doing to enhance the sustainability to the cities and towns that we are operating. This one is about our initiative to Sister City. As an example of creating a relation and connectivity of the region, JAL is also supporting the partnership and enhancing the Sister City, also to encourage the regional relationships. And this one, I think you know the gentleman on the left side. Japan Airlines is the first full-service airline joining GSTC back in 2023. This is our strong commitment. And in 2023, March, we had only 20 cases of acquisition of third-party certification, but by end of June 2025, it is nearly around 200. And the last slide will be about our initiative to GSTC destination. Another example here is we are engaged in promoting Yoron town in Kagoshima. Yoron it's a little bit difficult. Does this have a pointer functionality? Oh yeah. This is Hokkaido. Tokyo is around here. Kyushu, Okinawa is here. But this small line on here, above here, is Yoron. We are supporting the stakeholders of Yoron in terms of having them to implementing accommodation tax and securing financial resources to develop infrastructure, regional coordination and branding, and also enhancement of digital transformation and system development. This project is based on the GSTC destination criteria, which explains our Japan Airlines commitment aligned with the global best practices. Thank you very much.
That as part of a corporate culture is really, really important.
Kentaro, do you want to go ahead? Imagine that you are in Bert's organization now and not in Japan Airlines.
Yes, it was very interesting because I was not really aware of the seaplanes. And the 4 islands I just mentioned over there, actually in Japan, we have more than 400 islands that people are living. And we operate 2 relatively big airports. But if I was in your position, unfortunately in Japan, I don't think it is the awareness of seaplanes are as popular as in BC, in Canada. So I think I see there are a lot of opportunities in Japan. And also the population is now gradually focusing on sustainability. So it will be quite popular, I believe, and also connecting the traffic between the smaller islands without big airports, it will be definitely contributing to our society. So maybe I can be a consultant for you. Yeah.
General sales agent for Japan.
Tjakko, I know that you're in the airline business, but also to hear your perspective.
Yeah, because what I really like about your presentation, Kentaro, is that in your impression that you showed of the employees building their dream world, actually, I saw a lot of water. So that's always good. You're now talking about islands. And I don't know if this is happening already, but I would focus on the first and last mile thing and make a seamless transition into the other modalities in the destinations, and see how you can work together to make sure that your guests are going from their house to their destination in one seamless journey. That would be amazing, and that's not only for JAL. That's the same with Harbour Air, I guess. But yeah, so I see a lot of connections between these modalities. And well, the title is From Harbour to Sky, but we have to look at From Sky to Harbour as well. Yeah.
Thank you, the three of you. So many of the challenges you face are shared, whether on the water, in regional aviation, or in long-haul flights. Which of those common challenges do you think we could solve faster if these sectors work together?
Okay. So I'll give it a try. Well, I think in terms of transportation, the regulators are always what we need to discuss about, and also sometimes we need to seek for the approval. So as we are a full-service carrier airline, if we work together, I think each of the companies has their best practices. So it would be easier to tackle those regulators' criterias or standards because without that, we as an airline cannot just jump into the seaplane or the water taxi business without knowing anything. But if we collaborate together and harbor to sea, sky, and also sky to harbor, I think it could be a very a chemical reaction in a good way can be happening. So I think I'm lucky to be here today, so that this kind of collaboration will be enhanced towards the future.
I think you're absolutely right. There's an awful lot of rules and regulations involved in our business, and that obviously is required. Safety first for everyone who works, I think, in transportation in general, but definitely speaking for our airline industry. Safety first, always. So it's good that we have oversight. It's good that there are regulatory bodies, but we can make it a little slow sometimes. We can be a bit bureaucratic sometimes, and that often hinders true innovation.
Totally agree on that, and I think the biggest challenge we all facing is the climate change challenge. And so what I would say is not only tackle the rules and regulations and make it easier whatsoever, but also step over our own shadows and barriers and work together. Also in techniques, and see how we can learn from each other. Airplanes and boats are totally different products, but there's someone in between us that's kind of an airplane that is a boat as well. So there's a lot of mutual techniques, I'm sure of, that we can use together. So yeah, working together to battle climate change, that will be excellent.
Thank you, the three of you. So I like to give the voice to the audience now. And I will start here with someone that actually, his name here is a fan of Tjakko. So let's go for it. Tjakko, tech is transforming transport, but costs are steep. How can developing nations afford sustainable progress when entry costs run into millions?
I have a feeling where this question is coming from. But thanks. But this is an excellent question, because this is we all know that when we want to invest in more sustainable techniques and vehicles and boats, it is quite costly, absolutely. And I showed you the Kandela boats. They are not cheap. Absolutely not. There's two ways how we are tackling this. One is working together with financial organizations. Like we are now in progress with the IFC, World Bank, to see how we can get this funded. There's also a lot of private investors involved in our project as well, and they see the feasibility of this whole model. So we're working on that now. Phuket is our first case. We have our business case fixed now, so and it looks all feasible. And then we have to get the investors on board. So that's one thing. The other thing is that in the case of Phuket, what we are focusing on firstly is the luxury hotels. so the five-star resorts around the island. And we are going to create a luxury service in first instance. When that's working, we can build it out and scale it up to more public transportation service. So that's kind of a phasing that we're building in our model to make it more feasible, more feasible. So yeah, that's two things, I guess, that can answer this question.
Let's continue with you. Here, more than one person would like to know what are some infrastructure requirements for the water ferries, and how do you deal with conflicts of the environment with their implementation?
Also a good question. Yeah, every question is good, of course. We are working together with Thai organizations in Phuket to see how we can deal with these requirements. For instance, what we want to do is our departure docks and the docks that we have to provide ourselves that are not there yet. In our opinion, they should be floating docks. So it's a modular system. It's very easy to replace them, to move them around, and those kind of things. So we are not focusing on land positions that are that we are sticked on, and we have to require all kinds of land. So the difficulty is that in Thai law it is not possible to have floating structures in public waters. So we have to deal with that, and that's the main challenge for us, is to deal with governments, with local organizations, to see, okay, what is feasible, and can we change some rules and regulations to see how we can manage this. Conflicts on the environment with the implementation. So first of all, if we have floating docks, I'm talking Dutch now. If we have floating docks, then it has less harm to the environment. So there's only one fixed point on the ground. And I already told you about the boats itself, the hydrofoiling boats. They are not only good for, not only better for a marine ecosystem underneath, but also for the shores. What you see in Stockholm, that's the first operating Kandela hydrofoiling ferry in public service. They are exempted from speed limits because there's no wake. And speed limits are mostly to protect the shores. So there's also some benefits of using these techniques.
Thank you, Tjakko. Kentaro, this is for you. How is Japan's airlines approach to sustainable aviation fuels?
Oh, yes, sustainable aviation fuel, yes. Currently, we are doing various activities, such as doing investments in the manufacturers. And also, by only us, our power should be very limited. So across the industry, involving also the manufacturers, with the government, we are establishing a project name called Act for Sky. The Japanese government is there, our friendly competition is there, we are there, and also the manufacturer is there. So as Team Japan, we are trying to enhance the production of sustainable aviation fuel. But the tricky part is that all over the world, it is, in the industry, everybody knows that it is still not enough. So the challenge towards 2050 is very challenging. It is not an easy goal, but we need to definitely achieve that progress. But sometimes I'll just like to introduce, I don't want to name which country it is, but as I said, I was posted to some countries. One of the countries has very strong power, and they are maybe some of you know, that they were trying to mandate that the airlines operating to their country needs to use a sufficient percentage of SAF for the loading. So that kind of a mandated approach could be also enhancing the awareness of the customers and also the operators like us, and also the manufacturers as well. But also, always the question comes, who is going to pay for it? So it could be in the tickets. It could be today, as you know, passenger facility service charge or those kind of insurance surcharge or fuel surcharge is included. Sustainable aviation fuel surcharge could be, something like that, could be by the end of the day implemented, because the production is now very limited, so the cost is very high. But if it's getting wider and wider, eventually it should be, the price, the cost should be going down. But to the point, this is not, we don't see the goal yet, but we need to keep going in order to tackle the goal.
Thank you, Kentaro. Bert, can you tell us a bit more why you decided to move from offsetting to insetting, and also how passengers responded to that? Do they understand it and value it? And what kind of transparency or accountability system do you have in place to ensure that insetting doesn't become just another buzzword?
Well, to start with the last part of your question, I think we're proving that that things can be done if we use the funds that we generate instead of offsetting, doing it via insetting. So as said before, it's about $2-3 on each flight that our customers are paying, and that money goes straight into sustainability initiatives, primarily research and development for our electric aircraft project, as well as other modes of transportation. Now, why did we change from offsetting to insetting? Because we felt that offsetting was a little bit, it kind of sometimes can come across a bit as problem solved. We struggled a little understanding what exactly were we doing. And then lastly, I personally found it somewhat strange that in a province in Canada, British Columbia, we are supporting planting of new trees, for example, yet the number one income source for our province is the lumber manufacturing, deforestation. The partners we worked with during our offsetting would come to us and show us that there were new trees being planted in the Amazon, and this was during the time when the Brazilian government was actively pushing deforestation in the Amazon rainforest. So we struggled a little bit understanding, is this really sustainable? Is this really what we should be doing? And felt that with our own initiatives we can probably make a bigger impact. And customers have really embraced it, are very, very appreciative of the work we do. A lot of our customers are environmentally conscious. A lot of our customers demand organizations to do better, to do more, and that's really, really important for us, obviously.
Continue with you. So we have more of a technical question here. What is the range of your e-Beaver on a single charge base on full packs and bags?
So just to be clear, the electric aircraft that we operate, we have two of those at the moment, our prototype aircraft. Currently only certified to be flown by a pilot. The objective is to get to a range of 30 minutes plus 30-minute reserve time with a full load of passengers and bags. So we can do that today, but again, we are not allowed to carry passengers on that prototype. So 30 minutes, that's roughly our average flight time, a 30-minute reserve in case, for example, you can't land at a particular destination. You can return to your point of departure or divert to other water aerodromes. But to be clear, there is no aircraft available on the market today that we can buy. There is no engine that we can buy. There aren't the batteries. The battery technology is developing very, very fast, but there are no batteries that I can buy today to say, here's my new electric plane. So it is going to take a while until we get there.
Thank you. Now, I think this question would be for the three of you. What support would you like to see from destination management organizations to help accelerate your work on the ground in destinations? Whoever wants to take it first.
I can start quickly because I'm sure we will quickly all agree, and then perhaps Tjakko and Kentaro can join. But I think obviously financial support is always top of our wish list. These exercises are very, very expensive and need investment. But secondly, whether it's through sustainable aviation fuels or whether it's common infrastructure challenges that Tjakko and I are dealing with, I think many destinations underestimate the work that can be done or needs to be done on the ground in terms of infrastructure to actually allow new technologies to come. So in our case, charging infrastructure is number one. There's no point in eventually flying an electric aircraft or flying an electric helicopter or eVTOLs if we can't charge them fast enough, because then an expensive aircraft needs to sit on the ground for hours and hours, which obviously doesn't make sense.
I agree on that, of course. The other thing is that to deal with rules and regulations in local situations, it could be very different in different locations. So that could be very helpful to have the DMOs present and help us with those kind of things. But most of all, infrastructure, absolutely, that's an important thing. Yeah, and network.
I'll try not to overlap with their answers, but from my perspective, maybe some kind of a support on deregulations is sometimes required in order to make things moving faster and smoother, because the technology and also our atmosphere, everything is changing dramatically. So we cannot stick on those written stipulated rules, which has maybe written couple of decades before, so I'll say that. Yeah.
Tjakko, you have more fans here. So what support are you receiving, if you're receiving any support from the Thai government with your great initiative?
I'm so happy here with all those fans. And Ironi, I know it's you now. That's excellent. Yeah, that's another good question, because it's always difficult to collaborate with governments. Well, that's as a former politician, I can assure you it's always difficult. And the answer is not money in this case. For now, so we do our best, but it's mostly to get help with support for licensing and for rules and regulations, for zoning plans, all those kind of things. So that's what we're talking about with the Thai government, with the local government and Marine Department, to see how they can help us build piers or. In some cases on the west side of Phuket, that could be some kind of more public transportation model that we are implementing. I'm talking with them to create piers themselves. If they want public transportation there, they should provide the infrastructure and we can run boats. So it's mostly into those kind of things. Make it easier to run boats in that area. That's where we are now, but we're in progress with them, and we'll see where we end up. But it's crucial that we have Thai, in this case, Thai government, but every government behind our project and backing us to make sure we can implement it.
Tjakko, and I want to follow up here with a question. So you're building water mobility systems that aim to replace millions of land-based taxi rides. How do you go about winning the trust of local communities, particularly in tourism hotspots like Phuket, where concerns about greenwashing or displacement are real? What specific forms of local engagement have worked and what hasn't?
Yeah, so then I have to tell you a little bit about my background. In the Netherlands, I used to be a consultant in urban development, and I was creating and managing processes to get long-term strategies for cities and municipalities. You can only build those strategies or only build projects when you're engaging with local communities. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. You see it a lot, unfortunately, but I am a strong believer that if you start with engaging, if you start with talking to local communities, that you get your best ideas. Governments are mostly afraid of, and I actually got this question literally in the Netherlands. One civil servant, he said to me, well, what if these people want something else than what we want? I said, then you are wrong. And actually, in maybe 80% of the projects I did, the engagement projects, people don't want something different. They all want the same thing. So my my answer on this question is engage in very early stage. So we are now already, well, not already, we are engaging with local organizations in Phuket. Called Phuket City Development Company. It's creating amazing projects. It's working with a company called Greenheart that's focusing young entrepreneurs that are focusing on the marine ecosystem and how to protect them. And we want to see how we can build that in our business. So maybe part of the ticket price goes to those kind of projects. So we want to work together with local organizations. The other thing is economically. So I'm not running a boat. I'm not even allowed to run a boat in Thailand because it's a protected job. So we want to work together with local operators and local people to run the business actually for us. It is so important to get the support of local organizations. So start with that as soon as possible.
Kentaro, regarding sustainable challenge in Hawaii projects, any economic benefits for local communities?
Oh, yes, thank you for this question. Well, for example, yes, our third challenge, the Olu project, is, I would like to introduce one case. For this flight, it was taking place for 2 weeks between Japan and Honolulu. We posted a new fare called Mahalo Fare. Mahalo in Hawaii means thank you or appreciation. So this fair is showing our strong commitment to Hawaii that we appreciate because we have flying to serving for the Hawaii service for many decades. And for the local communities supporting Japan Airlines, we established this new fair. And not only the revenue generated by selling that Mahalo fare, part of it is we give it back to the Hawaii local government in order for them to allow to fostering many training programs or improving these kind of sustainable activity projects. And so that the destination could be a sustainable region. And as I mentioned, we Japan Airlines, we don't want to just carry people or carry our cargo, but we also want to appreciate or show the appreciation and also foster the destination as a much more attractive destination for maybe the Japanese people or people for all over the world, and make it sustainable. So this is kind of I hope this is answering your question. So the Hawaii project, we are establishing a new fare and donating part of the revenue to the local government.
Thank you, Kentaro. So this is a question that often pops up. Where do you think the balance lies between generating profit and maintaining sustainable business practices? I think this applies for the three of you. Whoever wants to take it first. Okay.
Actually, our company filed insolvency back in 2010, so we are very much focused on profit and how to generate revenue. But this is a very difficult question Because as everybody knows, the inflation is increasing day by day. The cost is going up and up. And we cannot just sell the ticket as fast as the increase is moving on to the customers, because if we do so, maybe we'll be left in the market. And there are also new business models like low-cost carriers that have focused on relatively affordable fares. So we need to differentiate, provide a different benefit for the customers. So, however, we cannot control the inflation or the stock market, foreign exchange rate of the weak Japanese yen or something like that. But also, when we filed bankruptcy, Dr. Inamori, who is the founder of Kyocera, also delivered us how to manage the real business. So it is important for managing your own cost, including my salary, my colleagues over here's a salary, including that. And so not only pushing those negative things to our ground service providers, if we do so, we need to be sustainable as a community, airport community. So I'm not sure if I'm answering this question, but there are things that we can control and there are things that we cannot control. The things that we can control, we need to do whatever we need, we have to, in order to take balance between and at least making a least profit. I hope I'm answering to your question.
I think there's no sugarcoating. Being sustainable is expensive, but that to me is not a reason why we shouldn't be sustainable. And I often find the inspiration from our customers, whether that's in my current airline or in airlines I've previously worked for. Most of our customers tend to want to spend their money at good corporate citizen businesses. And that can be an initiative in a local community, examples we've just heard. It can also be investment in new technologies. It can be very simple, pragmatic sustainability initiatives. But at the end of the day, I think, and I always like the link back to where's the revenue coming from, where's your profit ultimately coming from. It's from your customer, it's from your consumer who will want to spend money at businesses that are doing the right thing.
Yeah, the Watertaxi company is just started, and our core value is, of course, driving sustainable transportation. So we are building this company with this in mind. So we will see where the future will bring us, but we are a true believer that we can make a healthy profit out of complete sustainable company. Not only with the boats, driving the boats, but also with the company itself. When we are going to hire local operators, then we have our sustainable business value as well. So we're just starting. So I see this question also as an encouragement to look into that and to make sure that we are dealing with that in the right way.
So I think we have time for one more question here. Kentaro, since we're in a GSTC conference, could you elaborate on how Japan's airlines integrate for the Your Own Island, the GSTC standards of destination? How do you use it? How do you integrate it?
Yes. One thing that I would like to share is that as of now, I think there is many room for us as a member of GSTC in Japan to raise the awareness of GSTC in Japan. And that is also what was the interest of Your Own Island. The local government of Your Own Island was also sharing with us. Because they also, we had a common goal. They want to be a sustainable destination. We also wanted to contribute to Your Own Island as an example. And this was, I won't say it's a trial, but this is the first case that we are doing in Japan with a certain local city. So they wanted to do something, and we also delivered the GSTC's requirements or the global standards of a sustainable destination. So they were very keen to study more and explore more. So I think that was kind of an eye-opening thing for the local government of Yoron Island. But this is just the beginning. So we'd like to continue to do this for as much as possible for all over. Maybe I'm talking too much, but as much as the resources allows, we like to do this and also contribute to the society and also make Japan as a totally sustainable destination, because it's kind of overwhelming right now. It's a social problem of over-tourism. The major cities are too crowded. But there are many, many local cities, good destinations that foreigners don't know that much compared to the big cities. So I think it is also our responsibility to introduce this to the world. And this is also one of the activities. Again, this is just the beginning.
So before we wrap up, I would love to hear one personal takeaway from the three of you. What's something you're walking away after this discussion, a reflection, a challenge, anything having this, let's say, particular space, no, where the three of you from different angles are tackling kind of the same issue. So if you would like to share with us a personal takeaway from this session.
I will start with that one. So what we are focusing on in the Watertaxi company is the shift from asphalt to water. But I realized that we have three companies here that are not even using roads. Actually, we're either flying or driving boats. So I think my key takeaway is what I mentioned before, what I should do if I were in your shoes for a year or a day or whatever, is just to focus on this seamless journey for guests, from home to destination. How can we make that in the most comfortable and seamless way? And I think that, again, if you're just working together, talking together, having sessions like this, then we get there, I guess.
Absolutely. I think at the end of the day, we're often dealing with the same customer. And I think a water taxi from the resort to a seaplane base, taking a seaplane to a major international airport where JAL then takes the passenger, is a great example of, and a good takeaway for me to say, look, what is it that we can do together here?
Yeah, I agree with both of them. And yes, as I mentioned, this water taxi business and also the seaplanes are are the things that the business model that we are not engaged in at all. But I also like your idea, your practice about the people, the example you introduced. People arrive at the airport, get into the traffic jam and move to the resort, but the airport and also the resort is on the seashore, right? So that is also one thing that is very eye-opening to me. And the new technology that both of you have, I'd like to also, also study it by myself as well. And also our sister companies will also, they're already studying some related business as well. So if I can, I'd like to connect these respective members to both of them so that this session today is going to be a really meaningful thing, not only to the audience, but ourselves.
So time's up. Thank you very much, the three of you, for being here today, for sharing your expertise, your knowledge, your story, because that's what makes the conference enriching, no? To learn directly from all of you. So thank you. thanking also all of you for being here. So let's give a huge and very loud applause to the three of them, please. Thank you.